Did you know that you can be a positive, hard-working, even intelligent person and still fail? Yes, and do you know why? Because attitude is not just thinking positively, it's not just working hard. Attitude is the invisible sum that defines everything you attract, including what you don't want. And the most absurd part, you are repeating this pattern every day without even realizing it. But today, you will understand what no one ever told you about it. And once you understand it, you will never live the same way again. You might think your actions determine your life's results, but that is just the tip of the iceberg. The truth is, everything begins with a simple thought. Not just any thought, but the one you accept, feel, and allow to penetrate your emotional being. Most people have no idea about this. They wake up, repeat the same actions, habits, reactions, and get the same results, and wonder why nothing changes. After years of searching, I discovered there is an invisible formula behind everything you attract: thought, feeling, action, and result. This isn't just a pretty theory. It's a real, predictable cycle governed by universal laws. If you understand and apply it, you can completely transform your life. It all starts on the most subtle level. Consciousness, energy, neutral, formless, pure, enters your conscious mind. You have the power to shape this energy into a thought. But here's the key point. The thought alone has no power. It only comes alive when emotionally accepted. And here's the mistake most make. They think they want to change, think about success, wealth, health, but keep feeling scarcity, failure, fear, doubt. So that's what they keep creating. Feeling is the language of the subconscious, and the subconscious, mind you, cannot reject anything. Whatever you feel repeatedly, it accepts as a command. This changes your body's vibrational frequency, and the body acts according to that vibration. If you feel failure, you act like a defeated person. If you feel prosperity, you act like someone who attracts opportunities. It's like a perfect machine obeying the programming you set yourself. But most people live on autopilot, trapped in feelings they didn't consciously choose. They react to external circumstances, and it becomes a cycle. Thought generates feeling, feeling generates action, action generates a result, which reinforces the thought. An invisible prison. Now, if you want to break this cycle, you need to start exactly where it all begins, in conscious thought. And not just any thought, it has to be a chosen thought, deliberate, repeated, and loaded with emotion. Visualize what you want clearly. See it vividly, not vaguely. Be specific. Feel it as if it were already real. That's what I did. When I started, I was a school failure. I didn't even have a high school diploma. I worked cleaning floors. My life had no direction. One day, someone handed me a book, Think and Grow Rich. That book didn't give me money, it gave me an image. I began to see on the screen of my mind a new version of myself. I saw myself as prosperous, master of my time, capable, and I felt it as truth, even without any external evidence. And you know what happened? Opportunities started to appear. The right people started showing up. My behavior began to change naturally. I didn't have to force it. It was as if I was operating on a new level. And in a short time, I went from broke to earning more than $100,000 a year. This was in the 1960s. No diploma, no contacts, no experience. I am not an exception. I am proof. Look around and you'll see many others. People who radically changed their lives, not because they worked harder, but because they changed what they felt and expected. They changed the mental image they had of themselves. Now you might be thinking, but I already tried thinking positively and nothing changed. And here's the difference between thinking and feeling. Thought is what you say to yourself. Feeling is what you believe, what vibrates inside you even when no one is watching. It's like the difference between memorizing a phrase and living it as truth. And you know what's most interesting? Science confirms it. Neuroscience studies show that the brain does not distinguish between a real experience and one vividly imagined with emotion. By repeatedly visualizing a result with feeling, you are literally training your brain and body to live that reality. It's like creating a mental rehearsal that over time manifests physically. You must decide not with fear, but with clarity and intention. You must tell yourself, this is what I want. Build that image with all the details, repeat it, feel it and act on it every day until it becomes real. Now think, how many times do you sabotage yourself before even trying because you already feel you will fail? How often do you say you want to change, but feel you don't deserve it? What if all this is just a reflection of old ideas you never questioned? You can reprogram this. It starts with a thought, but not just any thought, one with feeling. That thought changes your body's vibration, changes your actions, and actions change your results. This is the path. There is no shortcut, but there is clarity. Clarity is power. Choose the thought, feed the feeling, allow the body to act, and watch how your reality begins to change before your eyes. You can try hard, have talent and be disciplined, but if the image you hold of yourself is small, limited or distorted, all of that will self-sabotage. The mental image you have of who you are, what you believe is possible for you, precisely determines everything you attract, allow, and build. And the cruelest part is that most often this image was formed long ago, before you even knew you could choose. The greatest prison people live in today is invisible. It is in the mind. They think they are fighting the world, government, or economy. But they are actually fighting themselves. They try to achieve something new while carrying an old image of failure, scarcity, and incapacity. An emotional anchor pulling them back every time they try to move forward. I experienced this for years. Before I started changing my life, I saw myself as someone who couldn't succeed at anything. I had dropped out of school and jumped from mediocre job to another with no direction. Inside me was a constant feeling that I wasn't good enough, that I would never be somebody, and that feeling shaped everything: my posture, decisions, communication, even how I walked. Trapped in a past that no longer represents who you want to be. But let me tell you this, you are not what happened to you. You are what you decide to become from now on. And it all begins with how you see yourself. Close your eyes for just a moment. Imagine yourself living a life of fulfillment. Imagine having the body you desire, the money you want, the relationships you deserve. See the details. Feel what it would be like to be there. This image is the start of your new identity. But visualizing once is not enough. You must repeat this image every day, because the old you will try to come back. And each time you reaffirm the new image, you strengthen a new neural connection, a new emotional pattern, a new vibration. And this vibration will change everything: how you speak, how you carry yourself, how you decide. Slowly, the world begins to respond differently as well. Life does not give you what you want. It gives you what is in harmony with the image you hold inside yourself. So now I ask you, who are you when no one is watching? What image do you carry inside you every day? Do you believe you were born to live with limitations or to create an extraordinary life? You have the power to choose, and that choice starts now. Choose a new image. Sustain it, feed it with emotion, make it a habit. And you will see the world around you transform, not like magic, but as a natural response to your new vibration. You might be making one of the most common and destructive mistakes. Believing your current results define who you are. This is one of the quietest and cruelest forms of self-sabotage, because the results you see today, your bank account, your health, your relationships, your reality, are not reflections of the present. They are projections of your past, of what you thought, felt, and acted days, weeks, even years ago. The problem is that most people look at the current reality as if it were absolute truth, and then reinforce the same thoughts, feelings, and results. It's like a collective hypnosis. A person looks at a negative balance and thinks, I am poor, looks at loneliness and thinks, no one loves me, looks at a sick body and thinks, I am weak. These conclusions, which seem logical, become deep emotional beliefs. The person lives according to these ideas, creating a cycle that repeats, confirms, and strengthens the reality they say they don't want, but have already accepted as their identity. And here is the big mistake: letting current results control your thoughts, because that means living from the effect, not the cause. The cause lies in the mind. Conscious thought, charged with emotion, generates the body's vibration, which generates action, which generates result. But when you allow the result to control thought, you reverse the process. You become a prisoner of what you see, not a creator of what you want to see. This is so common in most people's lives, they don't even notice it. Take, for example, someone trying to get out of debt. They look at their overdraft, feel anxiety, fear, shame. This feeling feeds the idea of scarcity, and naturally they make decisions based on that emotional state, avoiding opportunities, hesitating, not investing in themselves. Result: more scarcity. The cycle repeats. And when I say this, I'm not telling you theory, I lived it. There was a time I was completely buried in debt, owing more than I earned and seeing no way out. Every time I looked at the negative number, something inside me shrank. It was as if my own energy was being sucked out. It affected my mood, my confidence, my vision of the future. Until I learned one thing that completely changed my life: to ignore what I saw and start focusing on what I wanted to see. I know it sounds crazy. You might be thinking, but how can I ignore reality? I tell you, you are not ignoring reality. You are refusing to perpetuate a reality created by old thoughts. You are consciously choosing to create a new one. And this new reality will begin to manifest when you feed a new image, not based on what is, but on what can be. Science is already proving this. According to cognitive neuroscience studies, our brain is malleable and responds to mental images with the same intensity as real experiences. If you repeatedly visualize and feel a new scenario, your brain begins to reorganize as if that were already true. When your mind changes, your body changes, your energy changes, your actions change, and the results inevitably change too. Now pause for a second and think. In which area of your life are you letting your results control your thoughts? Your finances, your health, your work, your marriage? What if you could, just for a few days, reverse that logic? Instead of thinking based on what you see, start thinking based on what you want to create. I want to propose a challenge now. For the next 7 days, refuse to think based on your current results. Just refuse. If your bank statement is in the red, emotionally ignore it. Instead, choose to visualize an abundance scenario, paying bills with ease, investing, helping others. If you are in pain or ill, see yourself full of energy, vitality, and lightness. Imagine running, smiling, living in health. If you are alone, see yourself in a loving, healthy relationship full of connection. This image is not a fantasy, it is a construction plan. You are planting new seeds, and like everything in nature, what you plant grows if watered with consistency and emotion. Now I ask you, what do you want to harvest? Because if you keep feeding the results you see today, you will keep harvesting more of the same. But if you dare to think differently, feel differently, and act differently, even when everything seems the same, you will begin to break the cycle. You will discover you were never a prisoner of your reality. You were just looking in the wrong direction. Some call it luck, but what these people really have is an unshakable expectation that the best is always yet to come. They don't wait for life to happen. They position themselves internally, so success, opportunity, and prosperity become inevitable. Imagine you are a magnet. If you are charged with doubts, fears, and pessimism, you will attract more of those emotions. But if you fill yourself with hope, faith, and certainty, those positive vibrations open doors, connect you with the right people, and create coincidences that seem magical. Think of a person you consider lucky. Look closely, and you will see that what seemed luck is actually a mind prepared to receive the best. Jim Carrey is a clear example. He wrote himself a check for about $125,000 and visualized receiving that money with all the emotion possible. He wasn't just expecting a good result. He had such a high expectation that it seemed he already had the prize in hand. The universe responded by delivering exactly that. This is much more than positive thinking or a simple wish. It is an emotional commitment, a decision to act and vibrate as if victory was certain. This changes how you talk to yourself, how you react to difficulties, and how you approach daily life. Suddenly, you begin to notice opportunities where before you saw only obstacles, allies where you saw competition, and confidence where you felt doubt. And here's the point few understand. Expecting the best does not mean ignoring problems, but seeing them as temporary challenges, knowing something bigger is on the way. This attitude changes your physical posture, expressions, speech, and all that communicates a powerful message to the universe and those around you. Want a simple exercise to start? Tomorrow when you wake up, set your expectation for the day. Today, I expect the best. I am open to receive good things, positive surprises, and creative solutions. Repeat this mentally several times and notice how your mood and energy change. Do this every day and notice how your reality starts adjusting to your new vibration. And you change the results. This is a secret that successful people know and use every day, even if they don't talk about it publicly. The attitude of expecting the best and acting with that inner conviction is what separates those who live a life full of limitations from those who live a life of unlimited possibilities. It's not luck, it's choice. Choose today to expect the best. Choose today to be that powerful magnet that attracts everything you desire. And as you experience this change, get ready, because in the next video we will go even further. We will explore how to use this same energy not only to expect the best, but to actively create your reality the way you've always dreamed. With simple and accessible tools you have right now, but maybe never used properly. Now stay strong, maintain this elevated mindset, and watch how the universe starts responding to your new vibration. You are on the right path. Have you ever thought that the biggest barrier to your success isn't out there but inside yourself? It's the inner voice that repeats, "I can't, this isn't for me," or "I'm not capable." That voice is not your truth. It's just an echo of the limitations installed in your mind over time, through education, experiences, and people around you. But here's the secret few realize. You can change that voice. And by changing it, you change everything. Think of your mind as a garden. If you let the seeds of doubt, fear, and criticism grow, your garden will be full of weeds. But if you plant seeds of courage, self-confidence, and determination, blooming is inevitable. It's not about trying to force positive thoughts. It's about recognizing those negative voices and understanding they don't belong to your true essence, and replacing them with mental images so powerful and real that your subconscious begins working to make them true. When you create a fertile mental environment for growth, something amazing happens. Your mind starts seeking solutions instead of problems. It begins to open to opportunities where before it only saw difficulties, and you start acting with a clarity and energy that once seemed impossible. You're no longer reacting out of fear. You're responding with confidence and purpose. I know changing that inner voice isn't something that happens overnight. It requires practice, patience, and mainly a firm decision that you deserve more. You deserve success, joy, abundance. Each time you challenge a limiting thought and refuse to accept a negative self-image, you're building a new identity. An identity that breathes power, inspires action, and attracts the best the world has to offer. Here's a challenge for you. Next time that negative voice appears, stop everything, take a deep breath, and ask yourself, where did this voice come from? Is it really mine? What do I want to create instead? Then consciously replace that thought with a powerful affirmation, an image of who you are or who you want to be, feeling this new truth in your body and your heart as if it were already real. This daily practice will transform your interior and consequently your external reality. Because when the mind aligns with your true potential, there are no limits to what you can achieve. You are reprogramming your destiny, one thought at a time. Don't underestimate the power of this silent and profound change. What seems like a simple inner conversation is actually the seed of your new future. And this seed, once planted with intention and emotion, grows into the majestic tree that supports all your dreams. The most powerful point you need to take away is that true transformation begins within you, in the way you talk to yourself. This inner voice can both limit and unleash your full potential. When you decide to take control of this conversation and plant thoughts that nourish your greatness, you deeply and permanently change your reality. This is the key that opens doors to a life that once seemed inaccessible. And now, in the next video appearing on your screen, we will climb one more step on this journey of wisdom. A simple but fundamental step that will help you be at least 1% better than you are today. It is in this constant evolution that true transformation happens. Thank you for being here and investing this time in yourself. I'll see you in the next video to continue this journey together toward your best.